In our Best Plate Carrier series, we've tested many of the most popular carriers on the market, chosen by you through comments, DMs, and email. But today, we're taking a look at the 5 plate carriers that trap the least amount of heat during our testing. In other words, these are the coolest plate carriers you can wear in the field when performance in high temperatures matters most. We'll walk through these results in ascending order, starting with the best performer in our thermoregulation testing. It's worth noting, technically, the IOTV scored slightly better than the LV119 when tested without its soft armor inserts. However, since the IOTV is almost never deployed in that stripped-down configuration, we opted to include the LV119 instead. Our focus here is on real-world operational relevance, not just theoretical performance. The test carriers were shown in stock configuration. No mods, no upgrades, just the way they ship from the factory. Some of these results come down to smart design choices, better ventilation, thinner materials, or true thermoregulation systems that actively manage in heat and hydration. Let's get into it and take a look at the 5 coolest plate carriers that we've tested so far.
In 2019, Qore Performance launched IcePlate EXO, a new type of ultralight, minimalist plate carrier designed from the ground up to include the company's patented thermoregulation iceplate and ice fence technologies. Built from a proprietary IcePlate EXO laminate and laser cut for maximum weight savings, IcePlate EXO introduced the concept of thermoregulation as integral to the armed professional safety as ballistic protection. IcePlate EXO has evolved 5 years later thanks to invaluable end-user feedback, passionate team members pushing the limit, and continuous improvement in in-house manufacturing technologies. Now in its 3rd generation, following a meticulous ground-up redesign intended to make the most functional and feature-rich plate carrier on the market, and after many requests from our viewers and customers, we're here to ask, how does IcePlate EXO Gen 3 stack up against the competition? Is IcePlate EXO Gen 3 a one-trick show pony, or is this the real-deal future of advanced infantry fighting systems? Stay tuned to this episode of Qore Performance Insights to find out. For newcomers to this series, our videos aren't standard reviews. We developed these videos to thoroughly and officially answer frequent customer questions about integrating our Ice Age ecosystem's thermoregulation and hydration tools with various plate carriers available today. Our approach is strictly empirical. We present objective, quantifiable data supported by instruments and documentation whenever possible. We strive to avoid any subjective or qualitative information. We don't share conjectures or opinions. We aim to provide the necessary data to make informed decisions, empowering you to reach your highest potential. This is what building a superhuman future is all about. Relationship disclosures. Even though IcePlate EXO Gen 3 is one of our products, we still strive to give purely empirical and data-driven insights no matter what, so you won't find any subjective or qualitative information in this or any insights video. We are only doing this video because we had so many requests from viewers and customers to test our own plate carrier. We were extremely hesitant to do this. Initially, we had zero plans to do so because the bias risk was too high. However, the customer calls grew frequent and loud enough that we felt it was imperative in the interest of transparency. We aim to remain neutral and unbiased to provide you with information to make the best purchase decision possible and set you up for success. Ice Age Ecosystem Integration. Our IcePlate EXO Gen 3 is designed to integrate seamlessly with our Ice Age ecosystem. Everything from Ice Fence Classic ventilation pontoons, Ice Fence Classic and Arrows shoulder pads, and IMS Pro will work with IcePlate EXO Gen 3. The internal Velcro loop fields on the body-facing sides of both plate bags are engineered to interchangeably accept IMS Pro Combo and Ice Fence plate carrier ventilation pontoons. Furthermore, the Axle Equinox Cummerbund variant also readily accepts Ice Fence plate carrier ventilation pontoons. Materials. Recently, we introduced a second laminate material option, Berry-compliant IcePlate EXO laminate or USMCA-compliant endurance laminate. Here are the differences. Berry-compliant materials are entirely sourced and manufactured in the US, which is essential for military and government contracts to ensure quality and country of origin standards. Our IcePlate EXO laminate made in the US includes Spectra fiber for exceptional strength and durability. USMCA, short for United States, Mexico, and Canada Agreement, compliant materials on the other hand, can be sourced within the US, Mexico, and Canada. Our IcePlate EXO Gen 3 uses a high-quality laminate made in Mexico called Endurance. We currently use a unique safety yellow version in our safety collection. This initiative caters to private citizens, recreational enthusiasts, state and municipal agencies, nonprofits, and businesses, both large and small, offering increased capability and accessibility where Berry compliance is not legally required and the additional strength of embedded Spectra fiber is unnecessary. Iceblade EXO Gen 3 is made from one of these laminates depending on which the customer chooses, alongside name brand Velcro and shock cord. Both the Berry and USMCA laminates have a 500D Cordura outer for NIR considerations. Every Iceblade EXO Gen 3, regardless of laminate choice, is made right here in Knoxville, Tennessee at our HQ2 by US citizens who are employed full-time by Qore Performance Inc. Dry weight. Few things affect human performance more than weight. Ounces add up to pounds and pounds equal pain. We've all heard this and we all understand it. In this video, we will weigh 4 variations of Iceblade EXO Gen 3 for total transparency and maximum educational value. First on the scale is the Iceblade EXO Gen 3 constructed from Berry-compliant Iceblade EXO laminate with both the side strap and Axle Equinox cummerbund, followed by Iceblade EXO Gen 3 built with USMCA-compliant endurance laminate with side strap and Axle Equinox cummerbund. The Berry-compliant Iceblade EXO variant with front and rear plate bag and the side strap option weighs 15.2 ounces or 0.95 pounds. With the Axle Equinox cummerbund, that weight comes to 23.2 ounces or 1.45 pounds. The USMCA-compliant Iceblade EXO Gen 3 variant with just the front and rear plate bags and side strap weighs 15.2 ounces or 0.95 pounds. With the Axle Equinox cummerbund, that weight comes to 22.4 ounces or 1.4 pounds. To find out how this weight compares to other plate carriers on the market today like the Crye Precision JPC 2.0, Crye Precision AVS, First Spear Strandhog, and many more, click on the link in the show notes below to check out our Best Plate Carriers 2024 article and video. Wet weight. Does wet weight matter more than dry weight? It depends on your mission. Whether you are dealing with saltwater or sweat, the ability of a plate carrier to repel and shed water weight quickly can dramatically impact operator performance. If you have watched any of the many YouTube videos in our technical plate carrier overview series, you'll know that our experimental design is simple and the same for all plate carriers we test in this series. Submerge the carrier in water for 60 minutes, remove it and hang dry it for 60 seconds, and then record the weight. We conduct all of these tests inside our brand new HQ2 facility in Knoxville, Tennessee to ensure that external variables like sunlight, wind, etc. are absent. The Berry-compliant Iceblade EXO Gen 3 with front and rear plate bags and a side strap weighs 21.6 ounces or 1.35 pounds when wet. With the Axle Equinox cummerbund, that weight bumps up to 32 ounces or 2 pounds. By comparison, the USMCA compliant variant with just the front and rear plate bags and side strap weighs 21.6 ounces or 1.35 pounds. With the Axle Equinox cummerbund, that weight is 30.4 ounces or 1.9 pounds. Thermal transmittance. What is thermal transmittance and why does it matter for plate carriers? Thermal transmittance refers to the rate at which heat moves through a material. In the context of plate carriers, it specifically pertains to the body-facing side of the plate bag. When a material such as a wall or plate bag is well insulated, it has low thermal transmittance, making it effective at protecting against external temperature changes, ideal for homes, vehicles, or cold weather gear. Conversely, poorly insulated materials have a high thermal transmittance, which benefits active or athletic apparel like running gear, PT outfits, combat uniforms, or plate carriers. High thermal transmittance allows the body to release excess heat generated during intense physical activity. Given that tactical gear inherently provides some insulation level, choosing equipment, particularly plate carriers and body armor, with the highest possible thermal transmittance is crucial. Essentially, you need gear with minimal insulation to enable your body's natural cooling processes to function optimally, helping you manage body temperature independently of your gear. Thermal management is critical to prevent heat-related issues or injuries, ensuring you remain effective and increasing your survival chances in the field. Some plate carriers, such as our Iceblade EXO Gen 3, enhance your body's natural thermal regulation, boosting your performance. For carriers lacking this feature, you can integrate tools from our Ice Age ecosystem, like the IMS Pro, IMS Versa, iSpence, and Catamaran to improve their thermal efficiency. For a detailed understanding of thermal physiology and the environment, check out our all-new blog, Thermal Physiology and the Environment. It is a world-class resource for professional end users looking to improve readiness, maximize performance, and reduce risk for themselves and their units. It is an excellent tool for athletes, soldiers, Marines, and anyone else looking to realize their full potential in today's increasingly challenging climates. For all of the super nerds out there who want to know the experimental design for our thermal transmittance testing, here it is. Take a FLIR camera surface reading of the body-facing side of the plate bags at room temperature. Then place a single ice plate curve fresh out of the freezer into the same plate bag and place a hard armor plate on top of it for 30 seconds to simulate the effect of putting on the plate carrier. Use short exposure time to test efficiency, not capacity. Next, remove the hard armor plate from the surface of the subject plate bag. and take a new FLIR surface temperature reading. The Berry-compliant IcePlate XO Gen 3 recorded a baseline surface temperature of 79 degrees Fahrenheit and an IcePlate inside temperature between 12 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit depending on where the FLIR camera was aimed, which yields a thermal shift of 19 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. The USMCA-compliant IcePlate XO Gen 3 recorded a baseline surface temperature of 78 degrees Fahrenheit and an IcePlate inside temperature between 12 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit depending on where the FLIR camera was aimed, which yields a thermal shift of 18 to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. What do these numbers mean? The smaller the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the IcePlate inside temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. We've provided two tables for an unbiased analytical context, mean on the left and median on the right. Plate carriers with these readings will trap and retain more heat, making you hotter. The larger the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the IcePlate inside temperature, the higher the thermal transmittance of that plate carrier. Plate bags with these larger spreads are better at removing heat to let your body's thermoregulation mechanisms work as naturally as possible. These tables show how both the Berry-compliant and USMCA-compliant IcePlate XO Gen 3s compare to the other plate carriers tested. Unique features. The unique features of IcePlate XO Gen 3 include dedicated cummerbund mounting points, half-spaced MOLLE fields on the rear plate bag, and non-permanent quick-release shoulder-mounted first spear tubes adaptability. IcePlate XO Gen 3 is currently the only plate carrier on the market that prioritizes thermoregulation technology integration. IcePlate XO Gen 3 has maximum ventilation porting and organic internal Velcro fields for mounting IMS Pro for conductive cooling or IceFence Classic ventilation pontoons for convective cooling. IcePlate XO Gen 3 is also constructed entirely from hydrophobic laminates, greatly aiding dry and wet weight reduction and being odor resistant. It also includes plate bag lacing to secure armor plates of various shapes, sizes, and profiles. Attachment mechanisms. IcePlate XO Gen 3 uses Velcro, MOLLE, Swift Clip, G-hook, and can utilize zip-on panels via adapters. Variety. IcePlate XO Gen 3 is available in Multicam, Ranger Green, Coyote, Black, and our soon-to-be-released High-Vis Safety Yellow colorway. Yes, you heard that last one correctly. A High-Vis IcePlate XO Gen 3 is in the pipe. IcePlate XO Gen 3 is also available with a side strap or cummerbund variant, and the previously covered Berry-compliant or USMCA-compliant material variants. Sizing adjustability. The shoulder straps have 4 inches of adjustability and the cummerbund has 14 inches of adjustability. IcePlate XO Gen 3 is best with medium ESAPI plates. Armor plates with the following dimensions will also fit: 9.5 inches by 12.5 inches up to 1.1 inches thick for medium ESAPI armor plate profiles. 10 inches by 12 inches up to 0.75 inches thick for medium SAPI plate profiles. Shooter and swimmer ESAPI and SAPI footprints. Country of origin. Country of origin is a critical consideration when selecting a plate carrier. Country of origin is a dependable but not absolute indicator of innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. IcePlate XO Gen 3 is 100% designed and manufactured in Knoxville, Tennessee. Both the Berry-compliant and USMCA-compliant variants are built in the same building by the same hands on the same machines. The only difference is that the USMCA-compliant material is made in Mexico while a Berry-compliant material is made in the USA. Both are then shipped to our Knoxville, Tennessee HQ to be turned into finished IcePlate XO Gen 3s. Price. IcePlate XO Gen 3 starts at $245 for the USMCA side strap variant and goes up to $475 for the USMCA Axle Equinox cummerbund variant. The Berry-compliant IcePlate XO Gen 3 with the side strap starts at $475 and the Axle Equinox cummerbund brings it up to $695. These prices are current as of August 8th, 2024 and are subject to change. That concludes our technical overview of IcePlate XO Gen 3. We hope you found it both informative and enjoyable. This technical overview has been long overdue. However, this delay primarily comes from the fact that conducting a review of any description of our product will always risk bias. While we have gone to great lengths to maintain an empirical approach, we encourage anyone willing to conduct the same tests on IcePlate XO Gen 3 or any of the other plate carriers we have reviewed in this series. All information on how we perform these tests is readily available in the video itself and its twin blog article on QorePerformance.com, ready to be replicated. Are you an IcePlate XO user? Where has your XO taken you? Share your stories and insights in the comments below. If you want to see the latest in all aspect thermoregulation, follow us on Instagram at Qore Performance and subscribe to our Launchpad email list. Join us in building a superhuman future. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay frosty.
The AC1 minimalist plate carrier is part of TRex Arms' mission statement to inspire, educate, and equip serious citizens. Released in late 2020, the AC1 was intended to scale to an individual's needs from a low-profile setup to an overt but not full-duty setup, there is a big difference, as required. TRex Arms has had an undeniable cultural impact in proliferating the concept of a highly trained civilian populace. But how does the AC1 hold up against the many other plate carrier offerings on the market today? Stay tuned to this episode of Qore Performance Insights to find out. Thermoregulation is the genesis of our Insights video series due to the monumental impact core body temperature has on human performance. So we'll be starting with Ice Age ecosystem integration on the AC1. The AC1 lacks the Velcro loop found on other plate carriers like our IcePlate EXO, Shaw Concepts RV2, or the Crye Precision AVS that are needed to readily add ice vents to the interior of the plate bags to dramatically improve airflow, provide standoff ventilation, and promote evaporative cooling. Instead, the AC1 opts to use a thin strip of spacer mesh along the center of the front and rear plate bags. If you haven't already seen it, we have a detailed article on the performance characteristics of spacer mesh on our Insights blog, for which we have included a link in the show notes below. While the AC1 does come with what TRex calls low-profile shoulder pads, the padding seems to be very thin foam. Fortunately, both IceVent's Aero and IceVent's Classic shoulder pads can be easily added to the AC1 for continuous airflow under load and greater long-term wear comfort. Finally, our IcePlate Curve cooling, heating, and hydration powerhouse can be integrated internally via our new IMS Versa. Following temperature and environmental conditions, weight is the next biggest factor impacting human capability. The AC1 weighs 17.05 ounces dry, in size medium, with cummerbund and no placard or additional pouches. This comes the closest amongst the plate carriers we've tested so far to our IcePlate EXO, which tips the scales at 12.9 ounces in side strap configuration or 16 ounces in Molly cummerbund configuration when dry. Wet, the carrier's weight remains comparable, with the AC1 coming in at 26.65 ounces, or just 0.15 ounces heavier than the IcePlate EXO wet weight, which is 26.5 ounces in Molly cummerbund configuration. Even though the AC1 is designed with prepared civilians in mind and not built to be a full-duty military plate carrier, these are impressive results to be sure. For full details on how other plate carriers compare, check out our Best Plate Carriers of 2023 video and the accompanying Ice Age Insights article by the same name. Links to both are in the show notes below. The AC1 was intended to equip as many serious citizens as possible with the means to wear body armor. With mass proliferation in mind, it's worth analyzing the materials used to construct a plate carrier intended for the modern-day Minuteman. These materials are largely very conventional choices popular amongst manufacturers: nylon, hook and loop, laminate, tweave, elastic, and spacer mesh. Thermal transmittance is the transfer of heat through matter. For our purposes, the matter through which the heat is being transferred is the body-facing portion of the plate bags. Since kit is already insulating by nature, to defeat heat exhaustion, you want to find plate carriers and body armor with the highest possible thermal transmittance. In other words, you want to find plate carriers with the least amount of insulation. Our baseline thermal reading for the AC1 in a temperature-controlled environment with ballistic plate installed comes out to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. After inserting a frozen ice plate curve, the average temperature was 47 degrees Fahrenheit, or a thermal transmittance of 28 degrees. This is an impressive performance by the AC1. In fact, the AC1 outperformed every other plate carrier in our 2023 testing except our Ice Plate XO. Let's take a look at where the AC1 would have ranked had it been in our 2023 testing lineup. So what does this information in this table mean? Well, for those unfamiliar with our previous technical reviews, and to break it down for the non-nerds out there, the smaller number between the baseline surface temperature and the ice plate inside surface temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. This means the plate carrier is worse at expelling heat from the interface between your body and the plate carrier. Conversely, the larger the thermal transmittance number, the more efficient the plate carrier is at expelling heat from your body carrier interface. To really simplify, smaller numbers mean you run hotter, bigger numbers mean you run cooler. Primarily, the AC1 excels as a minimalist slick design for emergency and quick access civilian use. The AC1 features a utilitarian elastic cummerbund that is 4 inches high and has 6 open top pouches total. 2 2.5-inch pouches, 2 3-inch pouches, and 2 4-inch pouches. The 2-inch pouches can fit small radios and tourniquets, the 3-inch pouches can fit 5.56 mags, and the 4-inch pouches can fit 308 mags and also larger medical supplies. A feature that allows newer shooters ready access to a useful plate carrier without the need to purchase and experiment with many different pouches, the elastic cummerbund also keeps the carrier slick when these pouches are empty. The AC1 firmly places itself within the minimalist carrier category with the lack of MOLLE on the plate bags. This is partly how the AC1 achieves the desired price point below $200, as MOLLE is expensive to create. Instead, the AC1 opts to use swift clips or G-hooks to mount placards on the front and limited hook and loop panels elsewhere. For colors and camo patterns, the AC1 comes in multicam, multicam arid, Ranger green, wolf gray, and black. The 3 sizes the AC1 comes in feature varying levels of adjustability based on torso measurements. The small adjusts from 30 inches to 56 inches, the medium adjusts from 32 inches to 58 inches, and the large adjusts from 34 inches to 60 inches. For sizes, the AC1 is available in small plates, medium plates, and large plates. TRex Arms breaks this down on the AC1 product page with SAPI sizing, single or multi-curve shooter or swimmer plate sizing, and a separate chart for various HESCO plate sizing. The country of origin, or COO as it is sometimes abbreviated, is a dependable indicator of factors competent consumers should be aware of. These factors include innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. The AC1 has an interesting history, with an earlier release humorously named the AC Uno due to a mishap with a third-party manufacturer building AC1s in Mexico. This was contrary to the TRex Arms contract with this third party to have them be entirely Berry compliant. Berry compliant, for those of you that don't know, means it's made entirely in the USA by American-owned manufacturers. These AC Unos, as it were sold at a discount, and marketing made it very clear what the consumer was getting. As of the release of this video and following this mishap, TRex Arms does not have any mention of the current AC1 being Berry compliant on the product page. However, after reaching out to the TRex Arms team via email, they responded to us within 1 business day, assuring us that despite past issues, the AC1 is now made in USA and Berry compliant. The final data point is price. The AC1 without any additional components is a very affordable $160 to $165, with solid colors costing a bit less and multicam a slight premium. When we compare this with other plate carriers on the market, we see that the price point is very much in line with the previously mentioned mission statement of TRex Arms: to inspire, educate, and equip serious citizens. We will offer the caveat that for a full load-bearing plate carrier setup, the AC1 may disappoint with the lack of a structural cummerbund, stiff composite materials, load-bearing shoulder pads, hydration integration, or organic thermoregulation. However, it is important to note that these are characteristics of full-duty plate carriers. The AC1 is built for the modern-day Minuteman. Prudence dictates that you should take all relevant data for the intended use case when deciding what plate carrier, though, is right for you. That's all we've got on the TRex Arms AC1, but be sure to check out our other videos in our Ice Age Insights technical review series covering both plate carriers and gun belts, as well as our other Insights articles over at coreperformance.com, or available in the links in the show notes below. Before we go, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below if you own an AC1. What do you like or dislike about the carrier, and what other plate carriers would you like to see us do a technical review of? Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more technical review videos and knowledge drops to help us realize our vision for building a superhuman future together. Until next time, stay frosty.
While best known for their slings and pouches, Blue Force Gear is less known for their plate carriers. Founded in 2004, Blue Force Gear is widely recognized as the first company to address weight as a major issue in load-bearing equipment. Today, that philosophy manifests in their new plate carrier, which is also the subject of today's Insights technical plate carrier review, the Plate 6 Moly Minus. While the name might be a bit unwieldy, the Plate 6 Moly Minus is anything but. When the Plate 6 first arrived at our office in Knoxville, Tennessee, we noticed the focus on lightweight, efficient, monolithic design immediately. With their focus on lighter, faster, stronger, the big questions we want to answer today are: how does the Plate 6 Moly Minus stack up against the competition, and why aren't more people talking about this carrier? Stay tuned to this episode of Qore Performance Insights to find out. In the interest of full transparency, we need to briefly discuss the relationship between Qore Performance and Blue Force Gear. This is the first technical plate carrier overview video we have done where we have an existing B2B relationship with the manufacturer of the subject plate carrier. Our business-to-business relationship with Blue Force Gear dates back several years. They are the only pouches we sell on our website for use with our Ice Plate EXO, and we worked together closely on our Ice Vents Interbelt project. We even used the same closure mechanism to ensure optimum compatibility between our Ice Vents Interbelt and their chalk and grid belts. Despite this relationship, our review will still be completely unbiased and objective thanks to its purely empirical format. Blue Force Gear was not involved in this review in any way other than to sell us the Plate 6 at our wholesale account price. Yes, we paid for the Plate 6 used in this review. For those of you familiar with our technical plate carrier overview series, you know that thermoregulation is the next frontier of human performance enhancement. We view thermoregulation as a foundational principle in everything we do. This series started as a way for us to answer customer questions about how to integrate our Ice Age ecosystem of performance enhancing and environmental inoculation technologies with kit from other manufacturers. As such, Ice Age ecosystem integration is where we will begin. Ice Vents and Ice Vents augmentation supercharges any non-Qore Performance plate carrier, providing them with critical thermoregulatory capabilities that are otherwise missing from every carrier on the market today except our Ice Plate EXO. While the Plate 6 Moly Minus might lack organic thermoregulation capabilities, the fix is simple. Multiple members of our Ice Age ecosystem integrate easily with Plate 6, IMS, IMS Pro, IMS Versa, Catamaran, and Ice Vents Aero. The lack of full loop Velcro fields, or Moly, on the inside of the plate bags means the Plate 6 limits our IMS and IMS Pro to external hard cell hydration mode on the rear plate bag only. However, Plate 6 is an ideal platform for an IMS Versa and Catamaran installations. IMS Versa facilitates internal mounting of our ice plate curve for conductive thermoregulation plus hydration to the inside of the Plate 6. Catamaran uses largely the same mounting system for our Ice Vents Classic plate carrier ventilation pontoons to add convective thermoregulation capability to the Plate 6. Heavy loads in the Plate 6 are made lighter thanks to easy integration of our Ice Vents Aero minimalist plate carrier shoulder pads. Ice Vents Aero provide convective thermoregulation for your shoulders while distributing load, a capability unique to our Ice Vents technology. Few things impact human performance more than weight. Ounces equal pounds, and pounds equal pain. We've all heard it, we all know it. At the time of this script writing, on 28 October 2023, the BFG website lists two different weights for the Plate 6 Moly Minus. In size medium, 670 grams, 23.63 ounces, is the listed weight at the top of the product page in the title tile. BFG also lists the weight as 4 pounds in the specification section of the same Plate 6 Moly Minus product page. Our in-house testing shows the Plate 6 Moly Minus in size medium as weighing 1.46 pounds or 23.40 ounces dry. This is how the Plate 6 dry weight compares to other plate carriers we've tested thus far. We'll touch more on this later in the video during the unique features segment, but it is important to note that the Plate 6 we used for our testing is the model that comes with integrated 6x6 side SAPI plate bags. The BFG website states that a low-vis version is available that deletes these side SAPI plate bags, but our weight figures do include the additional weight of this feature. None of the other plate carriers in our testing have built-in side SAPI plate bags except the LBT6094. For context, 16 ounces is the approximate weight of a loaded 5.56 magazine. In other words, for every 16 additional ounces of dry weight in your plate carrier, you are potentially gaining or sacrificing 30 rounds of 5.56 NATO ammunition, depending on if you have a lighter or heavier plate carrier. To find out how the weight of the BFG Plate 6 compares to carriers like our IcePlate EXO, Spiritus Systems LV119, Crye Precision JPC, and others, when loaded up and configured, click on the link in the show notes below. Check out our plate carrier weight calculator. The data is super interesting as it lets you set up your PC with various accessories, and then it gives you the final weight of your custom PC build. Wet weight matters, and this is where the Plate 6 really starts to empirically separate itself from the rest of the field. Whether saltwater or sweat, the ability of a plate carrier to repel/shed water weight, and to do so quickly, has a dramatic impact on operator performance. The wet weight of the Plate 6 came in at 34.2 ounces. This means the BFG Plate 6 retained 10.6 ounces of water, or roughly the same weight as 10 rounds of 5.56, or 1/3 of a loaded magazine in water retention. If you've watched any of our earlier videos in this series, you know that our experimental design is simple. It is the same for all PCs we test in the series. Submerge carrier in water for 60 minutes, remove and hang dry for 60 seconds, weigh the carrier. We conduct all of these tests inside of our office to make sure external variables like sunlight, wind, etc. are not present. Our scale is always zeroed to account for the weight of the bin. YouTube is telling us that less than 8% of you who watch our videos are subscribed to the channel. Be a friend of freedom. Smash those subscribe, like, and notification buttons. This really helps us to bring you more high-quality testing and educational videos like this one. Materials are another area where the Plate 6 Moly Minus by Blue Force Gear starts to put some serious daylight between itself and the competition. Plate 6 is built from BFG's proprietary UltraComp laminate. This is a highly capable material that is significantly stronger than common products like Squadron. UltraComp is fire resistant and 100% made right here in the US. Plate 6 also uses Tweave for the soft armor plate bag. BFG does not specify whether they use Velcro brand hook and loop or a generic alternative. What exactly is thermal transmittance, and why should any of us care? What does it have to do with plate carriers? Thermal transmittance is the transfer of heat through matter. In our case, the matter is the body-facing section of a plate carrier plate bag. If a wall or plate bag is well insulated, it will have low thermal transmittance. This is ideal for a home, car, or cold weather jacket, as they are designed to protect you from the elements. If that same wall or plate bag is poorly insulated, it will have high thermal transmittance. This is ideal for active or athletic apparel. Think running clothes, PT gear, combat uniforms, or anything you wear when under heavy athletic exertion, where your body needs to dump excess heat generated from effort. Since kit is already insulating by nature, you want to find gear, especially plate carriers and body armor, that have the highest possible thermal transmittance. In other words, you want to find plate carriers and body armor that have the minimum amount of insulation. This will allow your body's natural thermoregulatory mechanisms to work as efficiently as possible and for you to control your body temperature independent from your kit. Preserving this natural function decreases the possibility of you becoming a heat casualty, keeping you in the fight and increasing survivability for you and your team. Some plate carriers, like our IcePlate EXO, can even augment your body's natural thermoregulation mechanisms, boosting your performance in the process. Carriers without this capability can be augmented with members of our Ice Age ecosystem, like IMS Pro, IMS Versa, IceVents, and Catamaran. If you'd like to learn the basic methods of heat transfer and how they apply to your gear, check out the awesome infographics we put together in our Insights blog article titled The Methods of Heat Transfer, linked in our show notes below. For all of us super nerds out there who want to know the experimental design for our thermal transmittance testing, here it is. First, we take a FLIR camera surface reading of the body-facing side of the plate bags at room temperature. Then, we place a single ice plate curve fresh out of the freezer into the same plate bag. Next, We close the plate bag, place a Tenkate Level 3 hard armor plate on top of the plate bag for 30 seconds to stimulate the effect of putting on the plate carrier. Use short exposure time to test efficiency, not capacity. Next, we remove the Tenkate Level 3 hard armor plate from the surface of the subject plate bag. And lastly, we take a new FLIR surface temperature reading. What do these numbers mean? The smaller the spread between the initial or baseline surface temperature and the surface reading at room temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. Plate carriers with these readings will trap and retain more heat, making you hotter. The larger the spread between initial or baseline surface temperature and the surface reading at room temperature, the higher the thermal transmittance of that plate carrier. Plate bags with these larger spreads are better at removing heat to let your body's thermoregulation mechanisms work as normally as possible. The BFG Plate 6 Moly Minus has an initial or baseline surface temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And ice plate and side surface temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit, creating a thermal shift of 25 degrees Fahrenheit. This is how the BFG Plate 6 Moly Minus stacks up against the other plate carriers we've tested. Plate 6 Moly Minus is loaded with unique features that we haven't seen in any other plate carrier we've reviewed as part of the Insights series. As we noted earlier, the Plate 6 is equipped with built-in 6x6 side SAPI plate bags. However, what we didn't mention is that the Plate 6 also has magazine pouches built into the cummerbund. These are both particularly clever features and not something we've ever seen in a rival minimalist plate carrier design. Plate 6 also features BFG's BLIP, or ball-loaded index point technology, on the corners of the side SAPI plate bags for easy manipulation in harsh environments, like extreme wet or cold. The plate bags have integrated eyelets for radio routing, while the front plate bag has a built-in admin pouch. The Plate 6 plate bags are also optimized for eSAPI or spear plates. Last but not least, the Plate 6 has a Tweave plate bag liner for use with a soft armor backer. The attachment mechanisms on the BFG Plate 6 are simple: Velcro and Moly, that's it. The Plate 6 does not have Swift Clip compatibility or zip-on back panels. When it comes to variety, the BFG Plate 6 is available in Coyote Brown, Ranger Green, Black, and Multicam. The shoulders and cummerbund allow for a wide range of adjustability. As you can see here, the BFG Plate 6 has a 9-inch length of Velcro on the shoulders and 12 inches of adjustability in the cummerbund. As far as sizes, the Plate 6 is available in small, medium, large, XL, and is cut for eSAPI or spear armor plate geometries. As with all things Blue Force gear, the Plate 6 is made in America from American materials. While we are firm believers in not skimping on life-saving equipment, the Plate 6 Moly Minus by Blue Force Gear sells for $299.95 on the BFG website as of October 2023, which makes it one of the best values on the market today. That's going to do it for us in our Blue Force Gear Plate 6 Moly Minus overview. Now that you know all about the Plate 6 and how it stacks up to the competition, we want to know what you guys think. Why isn't the Plate 6 more popular? Would you consider the Plate 6 as your go-to carrier? We hope you enjoyed the video and that it was helpful. If you're looking to see the latest in all aspect thermoregulation, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Qore Performance and subscribe to our Launchpad email list to join us in building a superhuman future. Until next time, stay frosty.
In 2010, Crye Precision launched the Jumpable Plate Carrier, or JPC. The JPC marked a turning point in plate carrier design, away from a mindset of cover everything, protect everything, carry everything that is best represented by the iconic LBT 6094. Instead, the JPC ushered in an era that favored speed, maneuverability, and weight reduction. In 2015, Crye Precision again stunned the world with the launch of the JPC 2.0. Since then, many consider the JPC 2.0 to be the reference standard for modern plate carriers. And this era and design philosophy is something with which we have become so familiar that most Chinese counterfeits and even some American influencer companies have copied it so substantially as to make it nearly impossible to tell them apart. But it has been nearly 8 years since the launch of the JPC 2.0, and materials, technology, and construction techniques have evolved significantly since then. This begs the question, how does the JPC 2.0, largely unchanged since its 2015 debut, stack up against modern minimalist plate carriers? Stay tuned to this episode of Qore Performance Insights to find out. A quick note on format. For those of you who are new to this series, this actually is not going to be a normal plate carrier review or review video like you might be accustomed to finding on YouTube. This actually started as a way for us answering customer questions that were asked regularly about how to integrate our thermoregulation and hydration tools from our Ice Age ecosystem. As such, our format is mostly empirical. It will attempt to be as quantitative and scientific as possible. While we're not perfect, we'll make every effort to avoid sharing qualitative opinions, conjecture, etc., basically anything that can't be considered absolute fact. You guys are professionals. Our job is to merely provide you with as much information as you need to make the best decisions to help you be the greatest version of yourself. Thermoregulation is the next night vision, something we've been saying practically since the day we started the company. As such, integration of our Ice Age ecosystem of thermoregulation and hydration tools is the foundation of this Insights series. The JPC 2.0 is an ideal candidate for our IceVents Aero minimalist plate carrier shoulder pads, though you can upgrade to IceVents Classic heavy loadout plate carrier shoulder pads for when your JPC 2.0 wants to pretend it is an AVS. That video is coming soon. Both IceVents Aero and IceVents Classic will facilitate convective thermoregulation for your shoulders while distributing load. This is a capability unique to our IceVents technology. As for convective torso thermoregulation, the JPC 2.0 lacks any Velcro loop or MOLLE/MAPS of any kind like our IcePlate EXO. This means it does not have the ability to run our IceVents Classic ventilation pontoons for convective thermoregulation under body armor. This lack of loop Velcro or MOLLE also means that the JPC 2.0 limits our IMS and IMS Pro to external hard cell hydration mode only on the rear plate bag. You won't be able to take advantage of the conductive thermoregulation capabilities of our IMS Pro. This lack of integrated thermoregulation capabilities is where the JPC 2.0 starts to show its age. One of the most frequently asked questions we get when it comes to IMS and IMS Pro with the JPC 2.0, SPC, or the AVS is, will you make a zip-on version for your IMS or IMS Pro? While circumstances may change, for now the answer is no, and the reason is that there is no zipper standard for back panels in the industry. This means we'd have to manufacture zip-on back panels in a minimum of 4 different specifications, which would dramatically increase costs for the most marginal of benefits. Moreover, both IMS and IMS Pro already come with up to 2 universal attachment mechanisms, MOLLE and Velcro. Our IcePlate EXO MOLLE placard is compatible with the JPC 2.0 using G-hooks or swift clips. But the catch is that the JPC 2.0 only has an anchor point for the top of the swift clips. The bottom of the female swift clip will be left dangling and unsecured, relying entirely on the Velcro interface between the placard and the JPC 2.0. Finally, the JPC 2.0 is compatible with our Ice Shield Plus plate carrier hand warmer. So YouTube is telling us that less than 10% of you guys who are watching this video are subscribed to the channel. If we could, we'd love to ask you to smash that subscribe, like, and notification button to help others get the information that they need to, well, be free. Other than temperature, few things impact human performance more than weight. Ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain. We all have heard it, we all know it. Dry, the Crye Precision JPC 2.0 tips the scales at 22.95 ounces or 1.43 pounds. This weight includes the front and rear plate bags, cummerbund, shock cord, and shoulder shrouds. Much like the Airlight SPC, Crye Precision advertises the JPC 2.0 as weighing, quote, just over a pound, end quote, as you can see here. A pound is 16 ounces, which means Crye's definition of just over a pound actually represents a difference of 43.44%. Just imagine if your entire kit was 43.44% heavier than advertised. To find out how this weight compares to other carriers like our IcePlate EXO, Crye Precision's Airlight SPC, or the Faro Concepts FCPC V5, click on the link below in the show notes to check out our plate carrier weight calculator. It's super interesting stuff, and the guys did a great job putting it together. Wet weight matters. More than dry weight? It depends on your mission. Whether saltwater or sweat, the ability of a plate carrier to repel and shed water weight and to do so quickly can have a dramatic impact on operator performance. The front and rear JPC 2.0 plate bags, plus the shoulder shrouds and the cummerbund, came in at 39.6 ounces wet. This compares to a dry weight of 22.95 ounces. If you've watched any of our earlier videos in this series, you know that our experimental design is simple, and it is the same for all PCs we test in the series. First, we submerge the carrier in water for 60 minutes. We remove it and hang dry it for 60 seconds. Then we weigh it. We conduct all of these tests inside our office, which is climate controlled at 71 degrees Fahrenheit, to make sure external variables like sunlight, wind, etc. are not present. Our scale is always zeroed to account for the weight of the bin. What materials did you use to build a plate carrier 7 years ago? Probably nylon, Velcro, tweed, plastic, shock cord, metal, and tigris, at least in the cummerbund. The signature JPC yokes were originally made out of a material called Haplon. Haplon was discontinued some time ago, and now these yokes are cut from Hank. Hank stands for High Abrasion Resistant Neoprene Kevlar, which you can also find on the laser-cut drink tube routing ports found on our IMS. Hank is manufactured by a Swedish company called Trelleborg. Some of you may recall that Trelleborg is the same company that manufactures the laminate used on the Airlight SPC. When it comes to thermoregulation and hydration integration on the JPC 2.0, it is simple. It doesn't have any native capabilities. The ability to augment the JPC 2.0 with thermoregulation and hydration is limited. As we mentioned earlier, the JPC 2.0 is not compatible with IMS Pro, so an ice plate cannot be worn internally without modification of the JPC 2.0 plate bags or external support. The reason for this is because the plate bags do not have internal loop Velcro, maps, or MOLLE. This means you cannot get any conductive thermoregulation with the JPC 2.0. With regards to convection, or what we more commonly refer to as evaporation, the JPC 2.0 plate bags again show their age a bit because they only have this tiny bit of spacer mesh at the top of the plate bag, and we don't really know why, since there is no organic ventilation system built throughout the plate bag like on our IcePlate EXO. Also, without loop Velcro or MOLLE, you can't run IceVent's classic ventilation pontoons. The shoulder straps have loop Velcro that can be used for adding IceVent's classic ventilation pontoons if you don't want to use the one wrap. This is where the JPC 2.0 really shines. It features a quick release system that operates with Velcro and doesn't have any hardware like the first spare tubes or the Espeto quick clips we used to use on our Gen 1 IcePlate EXO. This is the most innovative quick release system on the market today. We can say this factually because there is almost no way for this system to break, unlike the first spare tube system or even our old Espeto quick clips, which both use injection molded male-female parts that can break, and they have. The quick release system used on the JPC 2.0 and also the Airlight SPC is patented, so a huge hat tip to Crye Precision here for inventing such a simple quick release system that is worthy of a utility patent. The JPC 2.0 is also compatible with all AVS detachable front flaps. This is simple. It's Velcro, it's MOLLE, it's zip-on panels. This zip-on panel is a number 10 Visalon zipper by YKK. This zipper is commercially available, but this length is unique to Crye Precision. This means you can only use Crye Precision zip-on back panels. This same proprietary zipper length tactic is also used by Spiritus Systems, Ferro Concepts, and Velocity Systems. One question we get all the time when it comes to zip-on back panels is, can I run your IMS or your IMS Pro combo with my Crye zip-on back panel? The answer is a resounding yes. It's actually incredibly simple, as you can see here, and we also have links below in the show notes with more details. When it comes to variety, the JPC 2.0 is available in colors you would expect from the company that invented multicam. It's available in multicam, multicam black, Multicam Alpine, Multicam Tropic, Coyote, Ranger Green, and Black. As far as sizes, the JPC 2.0 plate bags are available in small, medium, large, and extra large. The shoulders and cummerbund allow for a wide range of adjustability. As you can see here, the JPC 2.0 has a 4.25-inch length of Velcro on the shoulders and a nearly unlimited amount of adjustability in the cummerbund because it uses shock cord that you can set to your preferred length. The JPC 2.0 plate bags cover a range of plate sizes in both SAPI, eSAPI, and swimmer cuts that you can see here. Small, medium, large, extra large. If you are between sizes or your plates exceed 1.25 inches in thickness, Crye recommends sizing up. The country of origin, commonly abbreviated as COO, is an incredibly important consideration when it comes to plate carrier selection. COO is a dependable but not absolute indicator of innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. According to the Crye Precision website, the JPC 2.0, like all Crye Precision products, is made in America from American materials. Price. This is the last and probably least important consideration when selecting your plate carrier because, well, we are talking about your life here. The JPC 2.0 is listed on the Crye Precision website for $241.90 as of the recording of this video, which is October 2022. This includes the plate bags and the cummerbund.
That's going to do it for our review of the Crye Precision JPC 2.0. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you found it very helpful. And we're really curious to hear what you think. How does the Crye Precision JPC 2.0 stack up against other modern minimalist plate carriers? As always, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Stay frosty. Spiritus Systems is the brainchild of Zane Vogel and Adam Holrod, who developed the idea of making gear for soldiers by soldiers while deployed to the Hindu Kush Mountains of Afghanistan. In their own words, it was an idea that we could do this better, that we could care about it more, that we could do it with integrity. Eventually, this led to the development of what is now known as the LV119 plate carrier system. The LV119 is one of the most popular plate carriers on the market today, and for good reason. It's also one of the most frequently requested plate carriers when it comes to integration of our Ice Age ecosystem. So the big question we want to answer today is, what makes the LV119 so popular? Stay tuned to this episode of Qore Performance Insights to find out. Oh, and a quick note about format. This is not a typical review video that you're going to find on YouTube. We put a lot of details in the show notes below. Check those out. But in the meantime, let's get back to the video. Ice Age ecosystem integration is the first category we are going to cover since thermoregulation is the next night vision and Ice Age ecosystem integration is the genesis of this video series. The LV119 is a perfect host for our IceFence Aero minimalist plate carrier shoulder pads. The IceFence Classic heavy loadout plate carrier shoulder pads could also be used if you're running a heavier load, but they may be too wide for most users when paired with the LV119. For hydration, the IMS combo can ride on the back of the rear overt plate bag just fine using the molly rows provided. As for conductive thermoregulation, the LV119 does not offer a way to run IMS Pro inside the carrier without modification. However, you can run our ice plate inside the rear plate bag and run your ballistic plate on the outside in our IMS as long as you are using a medium eSAPI plate. For convective thermoregulation, the LV119 currently does not have a way to run our IceFence Classic ventilation pontoons. However, we have a solution still in development called Catamaran to address this issue. While not as smooth as an organic integration like IcePlate EXO, Catamaran will allow all LV119 users to run IceFence under their plate bags easily. Setup takes just a couple of minutes and only has to be done once. Much like temperature, weight impacts human performance in a persistent and significant way. The pair of LV119 overt plate bags comes in at 17.75 ounces. The Molle Velcro cummerbund weighs 5.25 ounces, and together they clock in at 23 ounces. If you add the placard 5.56, a 3.65 ounce gain, you get a 26.65 ounce setup. In the show notes below, you'll find a link to our plate carrier weight calculator, which can be found in the Insights section of our website. It contains weight data for all of the carriers in this plate carrier overview series, along with weight data on armor plates, pouches, and more. Wet weight is easily the most underappreciated technical consideration when it comes to modern plate carrier selection. Whether sweat or salt water, moisture retention has a massive negative impact on human performance from the added weight and hygiene risk. Yeah, we're looking at you, wet boot socks. In our testing, the wet weight of the LV119 came out to 32.4 ounces. This is a 30% weight gain. It's not the worst we've seen, but it's not the best either. It is worth noting that Spiritus Systems makes an OTB version of the LV119 to address this issue, which likely outperforms the LV119 overt when it comes to wet weight. Like most modern plate carriers and armor systems, the LV119 does not have any natively integrated thermoregulation or hydration systems in the design. The LV119 is a minimalist style carrier. There is no extra padding, no spacer mesh, no interior Velcro, no built-in hydration features. Thermal transmittance is the transfer of heat through matter. In our case, that matter is the body-facing section of a plate bag. Since kit is already insulating by nature, you want to find gear, especially plate carriers and body armor, that have the highest possible thermal transmittance. In other words, you want to find plate carriers and body armor that have the minimum amount of insulation. Our baseline reading for the LV119 in a temperature-controlled office with a ballistic plate installed was 76 degrees Fahrenheit. After inserting an ice plate, the temperature was 58 degrees Fahrenheit. This is an 18-degree temperature shift. So what do these numbers mean? Well, the smaller the spread between the baseline surface temperature and the ice plate inside surface temperature, the lower the thermal transmittance of that plate bag. The smaller the thermal transmittance number, the worse the carrier is at expelling heat from the interface between your body and the plate carrier. The larger the thermal transmittance number, the more efficient the plate carrier is at expelling heat from your body carrier interface. In other words, smaller numbers mean you run hotter, bigger numbers mean you run cooler. Small numbers bad, big numbers good. The Spiritus Systems LV119 is built from materials regularly used in basic plate carriers today. Nylon, Velcro, plastic, Tigris in the cummerbund, tweave, shot cord, and YKK zippers. When it comes to unique features, the LV119 is a completely customizable carrier. The LV119 comes in 3 styles: overt, covert, and OTB, or over the beach. All of these styles can be mixed and matched with the others for a completely a la carte experience, depending on your mission, scale up or down to match. The LV119 also offers easy cable management for commo systems with openings at the shoulders and bottom of the plate bags. The Spiritus Systems LV119 uses industry-standard attachment mechanisms: Molle, which is limited, Velcro, and zip-on panel, which it's worth noting is a YKK zipper. We're pretty sure it's a number 8 YKK Vislon with an 8.875-inch length, but the key takeaway here is that it is a YKK and that it is different from everything else in the market, so you can only use Spiritus Systems back panels. The LV119 also has Swift Clip or G-hook compatibility for placards on the front plate bag. When it comes to sizes, the LV119 plate bags come in medium, large, and extra large. The LV119 cummerbund comes in 2 sizes: size 1, yes, that's what they call it, 28 inches to 42 inches, and size 2, which is 40 inches to 54 inches. Both the plate bags and the cummerbund are offered in multicam, multicam black, multicam arid, multicam tropic, woodland, ranger green, wolf gray, black, and coyote. The shoulders have ample sizing adjustment for in-between sizes. The cummerbund runs small, but has multiple mounting points in the rear plate bag that can be overlapped or worn wider in the front. Shot cord mounting is used in the rear plate bag, and Velcro is used in the front. The LV119 accepts SAPI or eSAPI plates in accordance with the size of the carrier, i.e., a large carrier fits large plates. We have exact sizing listed in the chart on screen. The country of origin, commonly abbreviated as COO, is an incredibly important consideration when it comes to plate carrier selection. COO is a dependable but not absolute indicator of innovation, quality, and craftsmanship. We reached out to Spiritus Systems to ask where their LV119 plate carriers are made, and they had this to say, quote, Spiritus Systems proudly is a Berry Amendment compliant company, so all LV119s and everything else manufactured by Spiritus is made in the United States, North Carolina, from U.S. materials by U.S. citizens, end quote. We reached out via email on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022 at 2:37 p.m. and received our reply Tuesday, November 8th, 2022 at 4:38 p.m. Spiritus Systems is incredibly responsive. Spiritus Systems sells the LV119 overt plate bags for $109.95 to $119.95 per plate bag. The Molle Velcro cummerbund will run you $63.95 to $70.95. The placard 5.56 is $59.95, and for the complete package in medium, it will run you $343.80. All prices vary based on size, and here is how that compares to other carriers on the market today. So that's a wrap on our technical plate carrier overview of the Spiritus Systems LV119. We hope you guys enjoyed it and found it useful. But we'd love to know, if you own an LV119, what do you like or dislike about it? If you were in the market for an LV119, what other plate carriers are you considering? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to keep up with the latest in all aspect thermoregulation. Follow us on Instagram via @Qore Performance. I'm your host, Justin Lee, and until next time, stay frosty.